The original planned winner of the Royal Rumble has been revealed. Big title matches are in store for Elimination Chamber 2022, and another WrestleMania 38 title match is being announced this Friday. More on that in just a sec. Yes, Andrew, you'll never guess what.
What?
Before the whole Lesnar situation where he couldn't wrestle Roman at first and then they had to do the whole thing, and what we ended up with at the Rumble was Lesnar winning the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Before all that, there would have been a planned winner in store if things had gone normally. And PW Insider have reported that they know who this original planned winner was. Who are we talking about?
We're talking about the original bro. It's Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle was planned to win the Men's Rumble on Saturday. There was also a pitch, however, for Randy Orton to win, but Riddle was the frontrunner until the switch was made to Lesnar. Randy Orton was in his hometown of St. Louis that night as well, so that would have been a good, time for him to win the Rumble, but alas, it was not to be for either of them.
I think if Orton had won, in the moment itself, that would have been great, obviously, as you mentioned, in his hometown. But long term, I don't know if it would have worked out quite as well, because we've seen Randy, I just think people might have got a bit sick of that.
Yeah.
Nothing against Randy Orton, he's fantastic, obviously, but they do often just kind of default to him over the years.
I mean, that's very true. He seems to be the person who takes it off someone and then transitions it to someone else, briefly, right? I mean, obviously, we've seen the team dissension stuff throughout WWE for a very, very long time.
It's been widespread.
It has, and I don't know. I mean, I guess if Randy would have won here, perhaps would have got a part where he's not bothered about the stuff that Riddle wants to get involved with anymore and this and that. That causes their dissension. Who knows? But yeah, we will never know because it was big old Lesnar boy.
Had the original plan indeed gone through, the original plan according to PW Insider, and it had been Riddle, he's got to be one of the most not outlandish, but like one of the least expected Rumble win. I know he's not like a lower carder or anything, but it's more often than not, it's like main eventers who win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
That would have been a big shock, I reckon.
It would have been. I think just WWE, I think at the moment, has a lot of stock in Riddle. I mean, he can do the comedic stuff. He can also really go in the ring as well. Like, he's kind of like a double threat there. Where's the third thing?
He kicks his shoes off.
He keeps his triple threat then. He is a triple threat. He can do his sort of range is quite wide because he can do the comedic stuff but also be quite brutal in the ring as well, you know, which is good. So who knows what will happen with Riddle in the future? Maybe they will put stock in him a little bit later down the line.
It's funny you should say that.
Really?
Because our next story comes courtesy of the Twitter account WrestleVotes, who say that WWE had plans since the pairing began for Riddle versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam, which didn't happen. Then the plan was to hold off until Mania, but now WrestleVotes is saying that they've been told that only a handful of creative members still want to split them up. With the idea being that if the match does happen, then it should be for the WWE title. So it seems like they initially were really keen on putting them together and then having them split up and have a big feud. Now they're like, oh, I don't know if we want to split them. The opinions divided backstage.
It's all about that moolah. I think Orton and Riddle probably make a lot of money for WWE, and I think on Raw at the moment, there's certainly one of the more entertaining aspects of that show. I think we kind of look forward to what they do. I think the Raw before the one yesterday where they were doing the spelling bee, I honestly think that might have even saved that show, which sounds ridiculous.
Oh, you really like the spelling?
I honestly genuinely really liked it. I think the energy between all of the people in the ring, Chad Gable's fantastic in that role as well. Like, I think they all bounced off each other really well. So yeah, I can see why they don't necessarily want to split them up just yet. However, I think to build to that eventual split, because I think they're so beloved by the crowd right now, throwing a WWE title in there and just add some more stakes to it, I think that'd be quite interesting. I
think so as well, but it did raise a thing in my mind when I was reading this. I was like, this could, because nowadays we're kind of in the era, aren't we, of like, well, on the SmackDown side of things, Reigns' reign has been going on for a long time. And rightly so, obviously. But it's not the first time we've seen this. Like, Lesnar's had big, long reigns with the belt. Often when someone gets the belt, it's very hard to take it off them, or it's put on somebody who can only be beaten by another person of that stature. So I don't know how we would have got to Riddle versus Randy Orton currently anyway, but they might have had a totally different way to go.
Yes, they might have done,
Next pay-per-view, of course, for WWE, or the next, it's not Network special anymore, what is it?
It's the Premium Live event.
Premium Live event emanating from the beautiful city of Jeddah. I've just never gotten over the fact that they told us the Greatest Royal Rumble, right? I was saying to Andrew before on our messenger that it's the beautiful city of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
The most beautiful city.
Because when it was the Greatest Royal Rumble, the first one, I felt like I was being hit over the head with how beautiful Jeddah was. We're in the beautiful city of Jeddah. It's going to be Elimination Chamber 2022, of course. And some big title matches have been announced for that show. So after Ronda Rousey attacked Becky Lynch on Raw last night, Lita then appeared and challenged Becky for the Raw Women's Championship at the show. Becky said no at first.
Yeah.
Lita did the old Marty McFly. She went, no, unless you're chicken.
You're a bit scared, Bob.
And then she went, all right then, go on then. Go on, but it
reluctantly afterwards, though, she looked very like, "Oh no, what have I done?
Yes.
What have I done here?"
Yes, and it wasn't the only match announced for that title match announced for that show either, was it?
No. So we've got a WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match.
Right.
So throughout last night, there was a lot of qualifying matches. Brock Lesnar was already just inserted into the match because he and Bobby had a little indication beforehand. Brock said,
"He's already got a title shot."
Well, listen,
it makes no sense to me.
I mean, I guess it kind of does because he lost that. He's going for another championship, right? He's going for the Universal Championship.
It's two separate situations.
It's two separate situations,
yeah,
and he wants his rematch. Bobby says, no, you're not having your rematch. Not a thing that's going to happen tonight. So Adam Pearce, who's in the ring, goes, well, guess what? Officially, Brock Lesnar is inserted into the WWE Championship match, which will be inside of Elimination Chamber.
And he's not the only one. We also will see Seth Rollins in there, Riddle in there, AJ Styles, and Austin Theory as well. So that's a big lineup as well.
That's a huge lineup. Yeah. You know, like Raw last night was actually really good. The qualifying matches were good. Even Austin Theory and Kevin Owens had a really good match as well.
Surprise, possibly, yeah.
But then, you know, he's been pulling out the surprise wins recently.
You're right.
And I think the people are making him look good as well that he's in the ring with. I think he's doing a really good job. But yeah, this is pretty stacked, and with Riddle in there as well. Yeah. Will we see some sort of title change that will lead to Randy Orton and Riddle?
It will be a short reign for Big Will.
I don't think we'll go there. But I mean, there's the possibility at least.
I'll say it now. I reckon Riddle could be the one who gets a lot of eliminations or something, has a bit of a breakout performance potentially in that match. Also, we mentioned how Ronda Rousey attacked Becky Lynch. Apparently, after Raw went off the air last night, Becky Lynch was then squashed in 12 seconds by Bianca Belair in a dark match.
Wow.
That's weird.
I feel like that's strange to be on something that's a dark match when obviously Becky Lynch squashed Bianca Belair for the title at SummerSlam. I guess maybe that's just a way to not have that be canon in WWE televised. Right. It was to send the fans home happy. Let's have Lita chase Becky out only for Bianca to come in and then boosh, hit the KOD.
You're right.
For a 12-second win.
We can't put too much stock in the results of dark matches.
No, we can't.
It's a bit of a strange one.
It is.
Becky Lynch tried to escape the arena but was chased back to the ring by Lita, and then she ran into a KOD from Bianca for the big loss.
Pinfall loss, yeah.
Fair enough.
I wonder if this is going to lead to something hopefully down the line with Bianca again. I know there's other plans at the moment, obviously with sort of Ronda and Charlotte and things like that. And who's she going to pick? Who's Ronda going to pick? We'll find out on Friday. But Bianca just needs, come on, just give her that, but give her that on TV instead, you know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But then if you squash Becky, though, I feel like maybe not squash, but you can give her a win back at some point.
Yeah,
maybe they're building to it.
Definitely, hopefully
maybe they're building to it, because I don't think, Andrew, that Ronda Rousey is going to challenge Becky Lynch.
No.
I think she's probably going to challenge Charlotte Flair, which would leave Becky Lynch's opponent open.
It would.
For WrestleMania. That's because Ronda Rousey teased making her Rumble announcement last night on Raw, and then went, no, I'm going to make the announcement on SmackDown instead. Now, my question is, why would she say I'm going to reveal it on SmackDown if she wasn't going to pick the SmackDown champion?
This is what I was thinking as well, right? But then part of me was also thinking, okay, so it's kind of been it's been slated that WrestleMania next year is going to be Ronda Rousey versus Becky, right?
Yeah.
This year's Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte. Now, in that little interaction they had, Becky Lynch was like, you can't beat me. Why would you want to go against me? You know, to me, sorry, I wrote this down. So Ronda says she could choose Charlotte to prove Becky she's still in her undercard. So imagine if Ronda chooses Charlotte and that gets under Becky's skin. Becky's like, oh, come on now, no, you want to come for me, come for the bigger challenge, you know? And then that could lead to slow booking, slow storytelling to next year's WrestleMania.
I think that's a good shout, and I wouldn't be too surprised if that was Becky's motivation going forwards in the character. So I think you're onto something good there.
Thank you.
So yes, also Brock Lesnar confirmed, as many of us suspected, that he will choose to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania after his Royal Rumble win. I mean, that was.
I think that was a given, right?
Come on now, guys. Come on. Let us know what you thought of that or of any of these stories in the comments section down below, and keep an eye out on the channel later on today, because myself and Andrew will be back with more lovely news. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you very soon.